Designing and exporting a crown for a titanium-based abutment in Blue Sky Plan is completely free. The design is free, and the export to an STL file or to configuration file for a mill is completely free. In this training tutorial, we're going to demonstrate the process of designing a crown for a titanium-based abutment. We're going to be using the new version of the Blue Sky Plan software, and we're going to be using the new BSP5.0 scan healing abutment. To start the process, we're going to click Crown and Bridge and then choose Crown on tie base. Blue Sky Plan now organizes data according to patient and the patient's treatment. It's not just Blue Sky Plan, it's all of Blue Sky Bio digital products now organize data according to the patient and the relevant patient treatment, which means the same patient list will show up in Blue Sky Plan, in Bio Big Box, in Lab Pronto, in Blue Sky Monitoring, and all your cases for the particular patient and all the data for the particular patient will be organized under that patient and under the relevant treatments. So we're going to start the process by clicking Create New Patient, and we'll call our patient Sky Blue. You can enter the patient's name, you can enter a unique patient identifier, whatever you like. Once you enter the first name and last name, go ahead and click on Create. And now the patient will show up in the patient list. If you'd like to edit the details, click the Edit button. And the treatment is created automatically based on the flow that we selected previously. Our patient Blue Sky is having a crown created for a titanium-based abutment. And once again, if we like to edit, we could go ahead and click on the Edit button and edit the relevant details. We're going to continue by clicking the relevant jaw for which we'll be planning a restoration. And then click up here, we're going to click the Next button. We are now going to navigate on our computer to the relevant location where the files are stored. We could also take advantage of the shortcut buttons going across the top. When you left click on a particular file, you could see the 3D preview on the right-hand side of the screen. Multi-select the relevant files by left-clicking on the first file, holding down the Shift key, left-clicking on the last file, and all the files are being selected, and then go ahead and click on OK. The software now automatically categorizes the file by the file type. We have maxilla, which we could see in our 3D view. We have our mandible, which we could see in our 3D view as well. And we have our additional files that we've selected. The software did not automatically identify the model with the scan body. We see it down here on the bottom. We could toggle the visibility of the files on and off by clicking the eye icon. So here, once again, we see this is our file with the scan body. We're just going to left click, grab, and drag it to the relevant location. It is the required file. It's the most important scan that we must have in order to proceed with creating our crown for titanium-based abutment. So once we have our files listed here and categorized correctly, we're going to go ahead and click on Next. We are now going to align the files properly in the 3D space, and we do so by selecting one of the files for which we're going to be designing the restoration, and then moving over to the right side of the screen, clicking the jaw type, and then clicking the model type if it's dentate, edentulous, or partial. In our situation, we're really dealing with a partial arch, but because it's an arch that's more than half of the arch, I'm going to leave it as dentate, which is acceptable, and click Continue to Alignment, which will run our automatic model alignment. If it's less than half an arch, then click Partial. You will be prompted to click on 3 different places in the model to create a horizontal plane, which will align the model in space based on that horizontal plane. Right now, I'm going to leave it as dentate and click Continue to Alignment. Okay, we can see the model has been aligned in space. We have the widget around the model, which we could use to move or rotate if needed. We want to see that the model aligns properly with the head in the bottom left corner of the screen. We have the ability on the right side to toggle on and off all the models or just a particular model, and we could show hide the grid as well as the widget. Once the model is aligned properly, go ahead and click on Finish. We have now completed essentially the first stage of the process, which is importing the relevant data set and aligning it properly in space. We are now going to proceed to align the scan body. Before doing so, we're going to hide all the models except a particular relevant model with the scan body in the scan. So I'm going to click on the top of the column here, the word visible, to toggle off easily all of the surfaces. And I'm just going to select the one surface that has the scan body visible. And I'm going to zoom in to make sure that scan body is clearly visible. Now this is a Blue Sky Bio scan healing abutment. We should have it around a millimeter or two above the gingiva as we have here. And we're going to now click continue to scan body alignment. We're going to select the relevant scan body. We could see that there's a long list of different companies that have the restorative parts in the Blue Sky Plan software. If you happen to be using a different company that's not Blue Sky Bio, and if you're not using one of the companies on the list, simply contact your implant company and ask them to email plan@blueskybio.com, and we'll be in touch with them to add their restorative parts to the Blue Sky Plan software. I'm going to select the BioMax and the relevant scan body. We could see that we have a match here between the two indentations and the two horizontal lines. The red dot that we have on screen is very important. It's indicating to us where we're going to be clicking on the scan of the scan body in the model in order to facilitate the alignment. So for each scan body, you'll have the red dot indicating where to click. Go ahead and take note and then click the OK button. And now put the crosshairs over the location of where we saw the red dot and click once. The software is now running the alignment of the scan body. The dialog box that now opens on screen is asking which implant was placed for the case. So select the relevant implant, then switch and select the relevant abutment. You will be able to change the abutment selection at a later point if you like, but go ahead and select the initial abutment and then go ahead and click on OK. We can now see that the software has aligned the digital scan body, the digital abutment, and the implant to the model scan that includes this scan body. If we want to switch the abutment at any point, simply click on the abutment, right-click, and choose Replace Abutment. You'll have the previous screen again with your implant and abutment options. Select the new abutment that you like to add, and then click the OK button, and the abutment will be switched. If we would like to have better visibility here, we have our visibility panel right on top. I could toggle off the visibility of the implant and the abutment, and we could see here the alignment between the digital scan body and the scan body that was in the model scan. We have now completed the second stage of the process, which is aligning our digital parts to the model scan with the scan body. And now we're going to have the software use the advanced AI functionality to automatically design a tooth. Let's toggle off our scan body and let's switch the model to the model with the mandible emergence profile. If we only have the single model with the scan body, we could continue with that, although it is less ideal. In either situation, whether you have the emergence profile or whether you have the scan body, you could have the software design the tooth automatically simply by clicking the Add Tooth button, selecting the relevant tooth, and then clicking the OK button. We're going to confirm on screen that only the relevant model and its antagonist recommended it's visible on screen. We'll click OK. Either we could add the antagonist now, or the software is going to ask us just now which model it is. We're going to click OK. Here the software is asking us, so let's go ahead and click the opposing arch and click OK. We're now going to left click a little bit buccal or a little bit lingual to the emergence profile or to the scan body, whichever one we have. We're going to click on the gingiva. And we can now see that the software has designed a tooth for this case, specifically based on the patient's anatomy, based on the adjacent teeth, and based on the opposing arch. If we turn on the maxilla here, we could see the tooth design. And if we want to make any modifications at this point, we have the widget that appears on screen, and we could go ahead and do some resizing if we would like, or rotate slightly. Here we could reduce our contact slightly. We will have more advanced editing tools for the crown design in just a minute, but at this point we could use the widget if we want to do some resizing or rotating of our design tooth. I'm going to toggle back on the visibility of the implant and the abutment. We do want to make sure that the bottom of the tooth is above the rim of our abutment. Okay, so we have that. And once again, we can review the general size of the tooth. Okay, we've now completed the third stage in the process, which is designing our tooth, and we're going to proceed to converting the tooth into a crown. We're going to start by clicking Continue to Crown Design. And in the Restoration Design panel, we're going to select Crown on a tie base, select the jaw mandible, and now confirm the selection of the relevant settings here. So our model is our mandibular emergence profile, our crown is what's selected, tie base is what's selected, and our antagonist is the maxillary. So we're going to click Start. Here we define the path of insertion, which could be done by either rotating the arrow on screen or rotating the entire model, and then choosing Set Insertion Direction from View. Once that is done, we're going to click on Next. This step is identify interproximal areas. This was originally created to resize the tooth automatically. We're able to select the relevant areas on the adjacent teeth. There's no need to do anything at this point because we've already designed our tooth and we have the appropriate size. So we're just going to confirm that the checkbox do not modify crown shape or placement is selected, and then we're going to click on Next. Okay, we're now going to define the shape of the margin where the tooth connects to the gingiva. So you could resize the curve that appears on screen just by holding down the Shift key, and with your left mouse button, just grab and drag to redraw the curve as you would like to define the relevant shape. We could turn on the visibility of our tooth. We now see that it appears twice. We have it once as the AI generated tooth and again as the tooth that's being designed. For this particular step, you could turn on either one of them. You could see the visibility of how the tooth is meeting the gingiva, and you could zoom in here and just redraw the curve. We want to draw the curve on the model itself, on the gingiva, and not on the tooth surface. Okay, let's go with that. We'll go back to our restoration design panel and click on Next. Okay, we're now at the step where we are designing the connection between the tooth and the rim of the titanium base abutment. We could grab and drag any of the nodes if we would like to change the contour. We also have the sliders here for the crown margin of how that connection interacts with the crown itself, and the titanium base margin, how the connection interacts with the titanium base. Our minimal thickness slider, which by default is set to 0.5 millimeter, and if it's violated, we'll have red coloring indicating that. Our crown cement spacer, the spacing between the titanium base abutment and the inside of the crown, and we have the ability to create the crown screw channel or to deactivate that. Once we have our relevant settings, we're going to click on Next. Okay, we now have our editing tools. We could see the collisions with the opposing arch. We could use the cut occlusal intersections or adapt interproximal contacts, or we could just uncheck them and make the modifications or any edit ourselves. We could turn on the opposing arch, and we could take advantage of our editing tools. We have add remove material, which does exactly that. Using the shift key and our left mouse button, we could add material. Using the control key and our left mouse button, we could delete material. We have our smoothing functionality that we could just use to smooth out surfaces, and our local reshape where we could just grab part of the crown. We could select the relevant tool size, hold down the shift key, just grab and drag to do some resizing. And once we've finished with our relevant modifications, we could go ahead and click on Next. Okay, we could see the crown that we just designed. So let's go to the Surfaces panel. Let's turn off our opposing arch. This is our crown. We could uncheck the box to show implants. And we could switch to our Teeth Edit panel, select our relevant tooth, which is the surface that starts with a D for it's the designed crown. And we could use the tools here if we want to do some smoothing. We have some extra tools such as Global Geometry Transform, where we could just grab any of the nodes and reshape the crown. And once we're done with our modifications, we could go back to the Restoration Design panel and click the Export button. We could see the relevant designed crown right here. The checkbox with selected will export the file as an STL file. If we would like to export the configuration file for the milling machine, the CAM file, then we could check that checkbox as well, and both files will be exported. If we want to make any additional modifications in our model editing module before the export, instead of clicking export, you could click create surface. And we could see in the teeth surfaces that a new surface has not been created as an STL file. We could rename this anything we want. Let's call it designed crown. And now this surface, when we switch over to our model master, we have our designed crown surface that now appears here. We also have our model edit tools to smooth, to add, remove local deform that work very well. Confirm the correct surface, and then you could go ahead and take advantage of any of our features and functionalities here to make modifications to the STL file for the crown. Once we've finalized any additional modifications, we could go to File, Export Data, and now we could see our designed crown as an STL surface, and we could go ahead and click the Export button to export the designed crown.